Hi, today I am going to review the 1998 horror movie From Dusk Till Dawn 2, Texas Blood Money. The movie stars Tuco from Breaking Bad, D.B. Cooper from Prison Break, John Doggett from The X-Files, and 3 other guys. The movie is about the Robert Patrick, the guy at the front. He gathers together this group of characters, and they're all very stereotypical. There's the Texan guy that looks like he's coming straight from the TV show Dallas. There is the psychopathic, over-aggressive Mexican gangster guy. There is the stale, married white guy that has no balls left. And then there is the white trash kind of guy, but he's only like white trash for 15 minutes and then he goes away and he becomes a regular main protagonist. So anyway, the white trash guy, Robert Patrick, gathers around these characters to do a heist along with another character that is an escaped convict. So there is sort of a police pressure to it as well. They don't go to the titty twister like in the first movie, or well, one guy does, but it's very briefly. But we do get to see Danny Trejo. So the main locations are in this movie. They are a motel. It works for the creepier stuff the movie tries to do. It's one scene they actually pull off kind of well. It's kind of stupid the way they get there, but let's get to that later. Yeah, and there is the second main location, the bank that they are trying to rob. That's more of the motel is the creepier setting. The bank is more of the action-packed setting. So the motel is the location where a couple of the guys in the group gets turned into vampires after coming across Danny Trejo while visiting the titty twister briefly. And then it goes along. A few people dies, not anyone important. And it goes along, and then the whole bank sequence is more of the action-packed, gory. I mean, the motel is kind of gory too when I think about it, but the bank is more of the action, action gore. It's where most of the people in the group gets turned into vampires. So there is this thing of police versus vampire battle going on. It's pretty entertaining, actually. So I'm gonna mention a couple things. I'm gonna check them off the old list. The first thing is something I like. It's the fact that they are utilizing the vampires turning into bats more in this movie. I mean, the movie is not as good as the first one, obviously. So I like how they are utilizing this bat thing more, I guess, tactical and travel, and because when this whole battle ensues between the police and the vampires, they're stuck in a building, so the guys, police officers on the roof and everything, they have to stop them somehow, and turning into a bat and being, indestructible to bullets, pretty much. That would probably work pretty well, and they do use it a lot. One thing I found really strange is the main character. He's just the white trash guy. That is who I'm talking about now. First he's like just a normal. First of all, he's white trash, but then he turns normal. But then when he sort of figures out on his own accord that they're vampires, his buddies or whatever. It's a guy sitting in a chair and he's looking into the computer to see if he has a reflection or not. And why would a normal guy on a robbery with his gang just think, oh well, the whole planet's gone to shit, they're probably vampires. But and also he seems to know a whole lot about it. Like, he seems to have figured out all their weaknesses and stuff like that. It's like you shouldn't just know that. The movie seems to have this thing for throwing characters against the wall. First there's one character, and this happens to him like 3 times in a row, and it's the same thing every time. Not the exact same footage, but it's the same thing done to him every time against the wall. Boom, boom. Gets lifted up and thrown again, boom, boom. And then it happens later in the movie too. It seems like I don't know why they do it so much. It's a little much. So the guy that plays Tuco from Breaking Bad, his character is named Jesus. Not Jesus. Jesus. And he is extremely, like, these are all, I wouldn't say that everyone is good actors. Well, they're generally, most of them are good actors today. But in this movie, it's kind of cheesy and goofy and shit like that. And it's kind of stupid. They say stupid things, just dumb shit overall. But his character, the Tuco guy, the Jesus, he's just so overly aggressive all the time. It's like someone says hi and he just, the vein in his forehead, starts to just like fucking brings a knife up and just it's over the top. It's over the top. That's what I'm trying to say. He's very fucking over the top. It's kind of annoying. But then again, the entire movie is intentionally over the top, pretty much. I mean, you can see it knows what it does, pretty much. It doesn't take itself too seriously. It has some fun with it. That makes the movie a little more fun to watch. It's like, it's just a joyride or whatever. It's nothing. It is over the top, but it's not over the top in a way that Apartment 1303 is over the top, because that's just retarded. But while the movie is intentionally over the top, and it does it kind of well, I like it, it's charming. The character Tuco, I always say Tuco, Jesus, the character Jesus is over the top in a way that doesn't jive with the rest of the movie as much. He's more over the top in a way, like, I don't know, it's annoying. It's just annoying. Just watch it and you'll know what I mean. Another thing is, it was not at all as good as the first one was. The first one was good in a lot of ways, in many ways. It's over the top, and serious in a way. It sort of melts the things, the two genres together pretty well, of the horror type drama and the more, crime. Like, what the fuck? It melts together the two genres very well. This movie doesn't really do that. It's more. This movie is more feels more like it's taking the first one and making a little joke out of it. But don't expect it to be too close to the first one, because the first one was better than this one. No doubt about that. The thing that made the first one made it kind of special was that it melted two genres together so well. And it went from one straight into the other. This one doesn't do that. This feels like basically just a horror comedy. They do it pretty well, and in a good way. It's a movie that's fun. It's dramatic. It's tense, and it can be both serious and funny. It can, and it has moments like that, and I enjoy that. Yeah, let's move on. The second one, this movie, the number dos, is a lot simpler in that it doesn't do the thing that I just tried to explain in a second language. It's more it's more simple, more plain. Just
nothing that'll get you hard.
there was a lot of pointless scenes in the movie, like one scene where they are just sitting and watching porn and talking about it for, I don't know, it goes on for a pretty long time actually, and it's not something that was important to have in the movie. It's kind of fun. It's fun to watch. They have some lines in there, but it's if you made a serious movie, you wouldn't have that in there, because that is not important at all. It's just there to be a little fun or something. I don't know what it is there for. I think it's meant to be this, just because they want to show off how sort of edgy they can be, or something, that they can talk about whatever's on screen, the fucking and whatnot. One guy says to the other, "Oh, we've been watching this for half an hour and I haven't seen any ass fucking yet." And that's supposed to be, I guess they want to show that these characters are, I don't know, edgy. It's pointless, but it's fun. And that's another thing when it comes to pointlessness, is the whole action scene towards the end. Mainly, it's pointless. It's pretty pointless, because they have that. It also ties in with the storyline of the movie, how it's supposed to, the red line there, little red line, all red line over there. They don't really follow it that well. First it's supposed to be this big heist. They're gonna do a big heist, and it's so important, and they all need money. Everyone is in such need of money. Everyone has problems, blah blah. It's all money, basically. That's the motive. That's basically what they set up to be the motive. It's a pretty simple motive. And that's also something that's different from the first one, where the motive was to escape and to get to a better place. And also taking the family hostage in the first one was also for the family to sort of escape the the ones that are on the run. Well, this one is just, oh, we need money. We all have problems and we need money. So we gotta get money, and so they set out to get money. But as soon as one guy has turned into a vampire, and of course he hides it from everyone else, he sort of just gets ruthless. And I guess that jives well with the whole vampire thing, the ruthlessness. But still, it's like they still want to go through. It's like they still want to keep on. They still really need the money because they still really want to do the heist. But in another way, they're so careless now. They're basically just. It's like they don't really care about it. It's like once they become a vampire, they just stop caring about things, but they still want it. I don't see how that goes together very well. If they really want something, they would do it. They would still want to do it properly. They wouldn't all of a sudden want to start doing it sloppily. The motive is money. In the first one, it was escaping, finding a better place, surviving, stuff like that. And this one's just money in the beginning, and that's supposed to be the whole thin red line, because the movie wants you to be thinking that the characters, it's still about the money even after they've turned into vampires, even though they stop caring about that pretty much. It's still like, oh, we gotta get the money, but we don't care how we do. We're gonna be sloppy. We're not gonna care if the police are on the way, anything like that. We just, it's just dumb, and it's very sloppily handled by one of the guys that's get turned into a vampire. Actually, the guy that wanted to make the heist in the first place, that proposed it to this white trash guy. There's a scene. I like this scene, but it begins with the first thing is this Jesus guy. He's gonna fuck this girl because apparently they walk past each other and she just whispers to him, "Yeah, I'll wait for you in room 16." And he just goes there and they start fucking. I don't know why. Yeah. And then she goes to shower. And then this guy that has been out to the titty twister and met Danny Trejo and has been bitten has now come back to the motel, but he chooses to. Somehow he sneaks into the bathroom. I know he can turn into a bat, but I don't know how he got into the bathroom. Maybe he locked up the window that apparently was just beside her tits in the shower, which is strange. Well, maybe that's an American thing. I think I saw that in Bates Motel too. Wasn't that it? He was spying on the girls or whatever, with the glasses right at the tits. The glasses, the window. That's weird. Anyway, so he somehow got in. He's a bat now, and he's like trying to sneak up on her, and I don't know what he does. He just these pointless scenes of the bat, like being on the brush. She brushes her back with it. He's just stuck on the brush, and it's like, and then after all those sneaky little bits, he's been there the whole time. He just flies up and just scares her and starts biting her. So it was entirely pointless that he even snuck up on her in the first place. He could have just gone straight for the attack instead. So now he's bitten her. Now she's going to be a vampire. And he's going out to his friend. He apparently he didn't hear at all that this woman was screaming for her life in the bathroom beside. I don't know why. And then he looks by the door and he sees the blood coming out from under the door, and he wants to go in, and he sees his friend in there. And he sees that there's blood everywhere inside of the room. He's like, "Oh, what the fuck? What the fuck? What?" Like he's just mad at him. Like he just ruined his fucking picnic. And then the guy not the Jesus guy, not the guy that was sleeping with the woman, the guy that had snuck into the room, shows his vampire teeth, and the Tuco Jesus, the Mexican guy, he goes into the bathroom, shuts the door, and he's in there, and you can see in the background, you can see this woman who was just killed. She's rising up out of the bathtub, kind of cliche, but I really liked the look they gave her with practical effects. She looked kind of scary actually, and that whole scene was sneaking up on him. That was kind of creepy actually. That was the only thing in the movie that was actually creepy. The rest of the movie was just goofy, but that was good. I liked that. I liked that scene. It got a little stupid afterwards when he bashes her head into a mirror and takes a piece of glass and apparently cuts her head off with a piece of glass. But then again, they did say in the first movie that the vampire's skin was like a sponge or something, I don't know. So maybe that's what it is. Maybe they just wanted to choose when to be consistent and when not to be consistent. Another thing, and this is probably my biggest issue, because it's a movie that knows it's over the top and it does it intentionally and all that. So the main gripe I have with it is the end, when this main character guy, white trash, what was his name again? Robert Patrick. Yeah, the X-Files guy. And whatever else he's in. Terminator 2, of course. Fuck me. Anyway, he, in the end of the movie, is kind of just making jokes. But it's strange because the movie is a goofy, over-the-top slasher horror movie or whatever, but that ending was kind of just really bad because he was the one that gathered he chose all these people. He chose them to do this job, and on this job they all basically got killed. So first of all, you'd expect him to have some emotions or some, just something that isn't happiness or whatever. Of course, he's gonna be happy that he's alive, but he's making jokes and it's like he's got a heroin stick up his asshole or something. I don't know. It's just it's surreal in a way, because you still expect a character to sort of, when things happen, that they should still sort of react the way you would expect the character to react. Otherwise it's just weird, because he cares, this one guy in the movie that he cares a lot about, he wants to, when he finds out everyone is vampires, there's this one guy who want to protect him, want to get him out of there. And of course he chose all these people, as I said, and he chose this guy too, and he knows he has a wife at home and all that. And in the end, everyone is just dead except for him and one police officer that was hunting him. And he's just it's like it was nothing to him. It's like the movie wants you to think that just because they became vampires, he doesn't care about them anymore. Of course he would care about them. He cared about them enough to choose them to do this, and with at least one of them he had a very friendly connection, not just a work related connection, but he must have had something a little more friendly, a friend or something like that. So and he killed a lot of them too, so that makes it even stranger. So he just laughs it off, just tells this police guy that, oh, we're
There's vampire hunters, aren't we? The damn Yankees.
damn Yankees. Oh, I don't know where I'm going with this. Oh. So, yeah, I don't know what else. Yeah, it's just fucked up. It's just fucked up. He's all happy and shit. He's killed all his friends. The same thing with the cop. His colleague is killed, and all the other cops are killed. But they're both standing there, happier than ever. All dead bodies laying around them. They don't care. It's weird. It's very weird. So, other than that, I just want to say that although I had problems with it, of course there's gonna be a problem with a movie like this. I still enjoyed it. Actually. It was goofy and it was over the top, but not in a bad way. It was bad, but not. It was bad, but in a good way. It was bad in a good way. I guess you could say that, because I didn't really have a bad time watching it. You don't. Every movie you see doesn't have to be fucking The Green Mile or The Shawshank Redemption or Birdman or whatever you want to pick. Sometimes it's fun to have some goofy shit. I mean, part of what makes the movie enjoyable to watch is the fact that it is over the top and knows it's over the top and it does it anyway, and all that. You can still find flaws that are more like genuine flaws, not flaws that they can shoo away with oh well, it's supposed to be over the top. They can't always use that excuse in the movie, because as I've said, there's some things that are just very poorly executed, I guess you should say. I mean, I can forget about the parts that lack a little bit of logic, like, well, why would that happen? And why would they just say hey and then fuck, for example? I mean, it's not like they're in a club or anything. They're just outside the motel, literally walking to each other's room, and they see each other, and she whispers to him, I'm waiting for you in room blah blah blah, and then they fuck. It's pointless, really. But I guess that what they wanted to do with that, they needed a way to get him into a room with a woman, so that the guy could come back and attack him. They had to get him in there alone, away from the others somehow, so that they could have two guys being vampires by the time they get to the bank. And that was probably the best way they figured they could do that. Not just have him go outside and have a smoke or something. Maybe they can smoke in the room though. Yeah. Oh. So, yeah, it was fun. It was fun. This movie gets really bad reviews and reputation and all that, and I mean, back then, years ago, I don't know how many years ago, some years ago, a few years, some many years, I don't know, I watched this movie and I was horrified. I thought it was really bad. But now, as time's come along, it's starting to change a little bit. I see it in a different way, I guess. And I don't think it's because I've already seen it before. I think it's more that, like, back then, you were expecting something more out of it. You had seen the first one, and there was a second one, there, and you probably thought that, well, you know, this is probably a good one, or it's probably like the first one, or whatever, and it wasn't, and you get disappointed, and that's understandable. But I actually enjoyed it. I really did. It was a fun piece of shit. I have a video about the Black Dahlia case coming up, but it's gonna be a little longer for that video because I'm waiting for a new microphone so that I might actually get people watching my videos for more than 30 seconds. But yeah, so I'm waiting for the microphone that I'm gonna narrate the Black Dahlia case written by me for you, if you're listening to this. Maybe I need to do more like, maybe I need to be more like ricegum, you know? Gucci dick. Gucci dick. Yeah, yeah.
What's up, everybody? It's Critical.
Yeah, we don't want